Good evening, everyone. Let me explain how to cite author books correctly according to the APA 7 edition style using Mendeley Desktop. When citing author books, we have in-text citations, but before we start talking about paraphrasing or direct quotation, we have to talk about styles because we're going to use them on the whole video. We can have narrative style in which the author is part of the sentence, is part of the idea, or we want to give more emphasis to the author. And we can have a parenthetical style in which the key aspect is not the author but the quote, the text, the idea itself. Bearing in mind that we can have direct quotation, and also be aware that APA established one rule for those quotations that have less than 40 words and those that have more than 40 words. In the case of citations with more than 40 words, you have to isolate that citation in another paragraph. In this citation, I would like to use a parenthetical style. So what I do is I click on reference, insert citation, and I look for Richards 2001, Richards, approaches. I double backspace and I must insert the page for direct quotation. So in this case, it's going to be page 12 and we can have this output Richards 2001 page 12. But in the first one, if it has less than 40 words, you can join or you can have that quotation inside your text. In this example, I also would like to use a narrative style, so I'm going to give more emphasis to the author. How do I do that with Mendeley? Well, I must write the name of the surname of the author, Garrett Rocks. Be careful with hyphens. Hyphens are part of his or her surname. I look for his book, Intercultural Competence. I backspace 2 times and I have to suppress the author because I already wrote it. And at the end I must write at the end of the quotation I must write the number of the page. Another way of citing is paraphrasing. It means that you take the ideas from one author or one book and you express them with your own words. In this citation, you only need the name of the author, the surname of the author, the date, but not the page. In this case, I'm going to provide an example with an idea from a book with 2 authors. And I'm going to use a narrative style. So I have to write their surnames alphabetically. It's provided by Anderson and Larson and Freeman. Then I use the insert citation Anderson and I click, since I already have their names, I don't need to repeat them, so I only need the date. It's 2013 and with that it's ready. After observing narrative styles with one author, 2 authors, direct quotation, and paraphrasing, there are some questions that we have to answer. So, for example, what happens when we have 3 or more authors in a narrative style? Well, we have to start writing the surname, Alderson, et al, period, and then we have to insert the citation, in this case the date. That's going to be double backspace and suppress the author. It's going to give us the date in order to later on create the references. Another question might be, well, all the examples are using narrative style. What about parenthetical style? If we have a parenthetical style in paraphrasing, well, everything goes at the end. Remember, is paraphrasing, so no page numbers are not necessary. So in the case of one author, is just you just look for it, Littlewood, no additional information, and then you click on OK. It's going to provide you a correct reference. And we have two authors in for a book from Larsen Freeman. We are going to have we have that Mendeley is going to separate the surnames using an ampersand. Yeah. And finally, if we have a reference with three or more authors, Alderson, we're going to have the case of Alderson et al. At the end.